It tells us something that they've literally bumped up the death toll in England to make it seem as if coronavirus is such a deadly disease and it's out to get you and it's killing thousands and thousands and thousands of people. In fact, we're told on a lot of media platforms that many doctors, health officials, and practitioners were literally paid to write COVID-19 on death certificates. And we're told that similar events are happening around the world in many countries. That countries are being paid money by the WHO, the World Health Organization, to write COVID-19 and death certificate to make it look like there is a pandemic, that people are dying, people are dying. Now in the UK, they're not even talking about people dying. They're talking about people testing positive for COVID-19. So if people are testing positive for COVID-19, how can that be something dangerous when people are not dying from it anymore? Seriously. What is going on? Britain, what is going on? Mr. Prime Minister, what is going on? In fact, the virus, it discriminates. Because it discriminates between white and black, between Asian and black, between Latino and white. It also discriminates between people who have certain physical ailments and people who don't. They claim that if you have diabetes, if you have dementia, or certain disability, that you're more likely to get coronavirus. In fact, the virus discriminates between poor people and rich people. When they said the simple way to avoid getting coronavirus is to either wear face masks or wash your hands with disinfectants and sanitizers. And I can bet you that poor people wash their hands with disinfectant and sanitizers and wear face masks than rich people. But poor people are almost 100 times more likely to get coronavirus than a rich person. Now tell me, how can a virus discriminate? And if it is discriminating, how can it be a real threat? It even discriminates between adults and children. It even discriminates between male and female. Does that not say something, ladies and gentlemen? Does that not tell you that something is seriously wrong? I bet if it was in some African country they came up with something like this, Britain would be there first to unveil that it is a lie. But because it is their own agenda, they get the media to play along with them and have the people like a puppet on a string, dangling in front of them and say, look at what we're doing to these idiots. And the thing is that the British public sit by and nobody ain't saying anything and let this unfold right in front of their face. So when the judgment comes, will you not be judged as well? Are you going to be crying out and say, God have mercy, God have mercy? Seriously, Britain, how can you sit by a country where they talk about human rights and try to be at the forefront where human rights are concerned? But now Britain sit by and sit back and is quiet on the issue and ain't saying anything. And they know exactly what is going on because people here are very bright, are very educated. And they're just playing to the music and having a good dance. Seriously. But let me tell you, God is up above and is looking down. And in his time, he will bring judgment. And I can hear, like I said before, a sound of a mighty rushing wind, where the Lord himself gonna come on the wings of the wind. And he's gonna dish out his own judgment because man has crossed the line. And God definitely in moments like this will intervene. Whenever you violate the will of another, God definitely will intervene, because God's plan is to make every man a free moral being with intellect, will, and emotions. You are an individual. You shouldn't be linked to no device that wants to control your will, your emotions, and your intellect to tell you what you should and what you should not do. Of course, yes, we must have laws in place that govern how we live around each other, but it should not be laws that literally control our will. That you can control us, you can know where we are like your God, and also to eliminate us. No, that ain't right. You've crossed the line. And God definitely will intervene. So now I'm calling on the church to let us engage ourselves in much prayer. As you can see, the time is eating up. It's getting hotter. And it's going to gradually get hotter and hotter. And then God is going to mix it up. The same way that they're twisting things and mixing things up to confuse people, the same thing God is going to unleash upon us. And that's why I encourage Christians to be vigilant and to be in much prayer, to be watchful. And if you follow the signs, and if you're in much prayer, of course, the Lord will protect you. Yesterday I mentioned about the cross, that, everyone should wear a cross. And it's a symbol of our unity, our togetherness, and our bond of fellowship. God will